Today is January 6th. The rundown. Dan, can I see the mug that you're drinking out of? It looked miniature the first time I saw it. Like you have a clean haircut. Your mug looks.
This is going to be. I can already tell how badly you're clawing to get out. So you're looking for every little thing.
I'm not. You guys initiated. You guys have initiated saying that I'm I'm not. I'm very calm, cool, relaxed, and I want everyone to be friends today.
That was a stretch.
Whew. No, it's not a stretch.
That's like what stoolies do, where they're like, "Oh, look at your floor. Look at the background over there. Look at that bookshelf, Dan. You loser. You got a bookshelf."
The best part is Dave's wearing my grandmother's sofa. That's like a $400 designer sweatshirt.
It's actually just to take you away to nicer, warmer weather and keep you calm and think of warm breezes and what is it? Calm breezes and tropical seas or something. I don't know what I was. New York Times links Derek Jeter steroids. KFC, you were all over this story. You made some pretty big leaps, so we'll let you start.
I don't think I made any leaps. To be in the generation that Derek Jeter was in, to have the career he had, the longevity that he had, never injured, surrounded by cheaters all the time.
What do you mean never injured?
He played like 155 games, like 16 out of 18 years.
Wasn't he crippled, though, the end of his career, basically?
Like the last year. Meanwhile, I think it was 2012, he had like one of his best years ever. I'm just saying, I don't necessarily think that what came out today is like a smoking gun that Derek Jeter did HGH. I just think it's funny that people think that it's completely outside the realm of possibility that he maybe did something.
What about Peyton?
What?
Did you think that New York Times, same article, that confirms that Peyton did it, right?
Peyton's wife.
Yeah, Peyton Manning's wife does the HGH. And there's the difference. Jeter never had a wife, so he can't really get caught. There's no situation there. Whereas Peyton has a wife who does HGH. That's all I got out of the report, really.
Dan, anything on Jeter?
This goes into my point on Monday. HGH, I got nothing for it. It's so like it doesn't move the needle for me. If you tell me a baseball player did HGH, you tell me a football player did HGH, I'm just like, who cares? So that's why I really don't care about this. Every single player's done it. I'd be shocked if Derek Jeter didn't try it a little bit. He was in the perfect time frame to do any of this stuff. And I will say this, Kevin, I read your blog. You did take a couple leaps, but like steroid guys who went from home runs to warning track power, it is funny to think about Derek Jeter because he actually would have gone from like bloop singles that piss everyone off to just like dribblers to the second base.
He would have been out of the league. He wouldn't be a baseball player.
He's a fringe baseball player without HGH.
Okay, I have no problem with that. That's all. I was just curious on both your takes.
What is your take? What are you doing today?
What? It was a story.
You know how the rundown works? Like everybody gives their take on the story.
For me, this has nothing to do with Derek Jeter. I saw you guys talking about this. Is all about Peyton Manning, and in a way, they asked today Tom Brady how he thought about the treatment between Brady and Manning. He took the high road and said he didn't care, but the whole thing really disgusts me still to this day, this point. The Jim Nantz, the New York Times, and I know you
get my point, right, Dave?
I do get your point.
The point that HGH is so I don't care about HGH.
I agree,
if you tell me there's a possible scandal of deflating balls, whether it's true or not, the people are going to get crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree, Dan. It's just that Roger Goodell himself, the Fuhrer, said that Deflategate is a 4-game suspension, and it's the same deflating balls, the same exact punishment as if someone took HGH. So Goodell said that. I mean, that was his words.
Right.
So
not someone's wife.
You have to attack this with the same intensity as the deflated ball situation, because you yourself, Goodell, said it's the same punishment. So that's all. I just really want to put this Jeter on this so I could swing it around and make it about Peyton Manning and the Patriots. Is that what you want to hear? Because that's the truth.
The thing about Nantz is that if you think it's a non-story, fine, but then you have to say that you think it's a non-story. To not talk about it at all, it's no sense. That's just clearly you're ignoring it.
Well, and also you can be mad. People can be mad at Jim Nantz. I understand that because it is at least something that should be mentioned. But don't be mad at Peyton Manning for that. That's a savvy move to be like, I'm going to basically like share PR guys with some of the heavy hitters in the media, and they'll always scratch my back. That's a smart move by Peyton Manning.
I'm not mad at Peyton Manning.
No, I know.
Jim Tomsula. So
Jimbo.
this was sort of shocking to me. I guess it shouldn't be shocking, but Jim Tomsula got fired after 1 year. He was the lowest paid coach in the NFL, which that's kind of obvious. The guy, though, is going to collect $14 million. He can work another job. He'll go be a line coach somewhere. The fact that Jim Tonsula, and really what caught my mind is, what does Jim Tonsula do with $14 million? That's so much money. I can't picture a guy like him using banks even. Like, he seems like a guy who keeps his money probably just in his house somewhere. Also, Jed York saying we're going to let Jimmy T keep the money was like maybe the sneaky most insulting thing I've ever heard.
Well, the 49ers were crazy, first of all, because we knew that this was just a one-and-done thing. So why would they even sign him to $14 million? You could have told Jim Tomsula, we'll give you, like, an extra, like, chicken fingers at the cafeteria on Tuesday, and you'd be our head coach. You'd be like, okay, deal. The guy lived in his car. Like, that's a fact. As to what he's going to do with the money, I would imagine Jim Tomsula's got, like, a little, like, old, like, Italian mother. He probably, like, is going to buy her, like, a pasta sauce, like, place or, like, a restaurant that she'll run into the ground. He'll put some in his backyard. He'll definitely dig up his backyard and throw some, like, jars in his backyard. And, like, track suits and gold jewelry.
I mean, literally, though, it's, like, funny, but that's it.
Yeah.
Jimmy T is like the new American dream. Like, all the stupid odd jobs that he had. He grew a mustache, he farted around, he watched football, and he now has $14 million because of it. He is the poster child from the rags to riches American dream, new age, modern era.
And when you say he farted around, he literally farted
in public.
Dave, I don't know if you saw my favorite Jim Tomsula story. It happened over, like, break, so it didn't get a lot of buzz. But the Jimbo thing, when he fucks up, he calls it a Jimbo. So, like, he was like, yeah, sometimes we'll come out and we should run, but, like, I decide to pass. That's a Jimbo. Like, he just has a
I also think that Jimmy T is not that disrespectful.
Oh, I do.
I feel like he has, like, when he does something bad, he's pulling a Jimbo. I think the version of himself that he likes, that's Jimmy T. Everybody likes Jimmy T.
Yeah, but when your owner says, we're going to give you all your money, Jimmy T, and you can go work for, like, our arch rival, we don't care, that's pretty insulting.
Well, Jimmy T also, I wouldn't be shocked if he's sitting in, like, a film room in the facility right now at the 49ers. Like, he just keeps coming in. He's definitely doing a Hank right now where he's like, you guys fired me, but, like, I'm going to keep, you're paying me, so I'm going to keep coming in forever.
This next thing, this tennis sportsmanship. So a guy shot it. The linesman calls it out. This hero, this loser, basically says, "Challenge it. It would be in KFC." You blogged it.
Folks, I was in if you want to challenge it.
Oh, what an idiot. What a fucking idiot. I thought you nailed it perfectly. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, it's a loser move. People have kind of given me the context of it. I guess it was like kind of a meaningless tournament, and I don't know. It was a blowout of sorts in tennis. Still, I don't care. I don't care if you're playing pickup basketball. You're not. When you get a call, you get a call. Like I said, sometimes you're gonna get the short end of the stick too. Don't go out there trying to be a hero on your high horse, trying to play the game the right way so you get all this sportsmanship nonsense. You play to win the game. If a call goes your way, you just take it.
Big Cat?
It's also bullshit, like you just said. If it's a meaningless tournament, you have to be that guy through and through. So if you wouldn't do this in the finals at Wimbledon, don't fucking do it for this kind of credit at a meaningless tournament. It's like the people who find a bag of money and they turn it into the police. Like, don't be a sucker.
If I could take us all back to 1995 for a quick minute. So we had this softball, this volleyball tournament in our high school. It was in between seasons.
This is the most Portnoy moment ever. This is the most Portnoy moment of all time right now.
Not only that, but I'm pretty sure you've told this story before.
I'm sure I have, but it's apropos again, Dan. Do you want to tell it for me then?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
So a big volleyball tournament. Everybody's in it. It's like every class, every grade. Probably top 3 most intense athletic things I've ever been in. Very serious. Half my friends on one team, half on the other. We're the 2 best teams in the school. My team, Mr. Biggs, we shocked the world. We won as freshmen. We won as sophomores. Junior year, the title's on the line. One of my best friends goes up for a spike. I go up to block. I elevate both feet in the air. Huge double foot jumper. I had a lot of vertical. He spikes it, goes off my thumb and way out of bounds. The judge, Mr. Butler, the shop teacher, doesn't see it go off the thumb, calls it out, and then all hell breaks loose. He puts me on the honor system and says, like, this is the honor system. You have to tell me, did that go off your thumb? I obviously lie. I said it didn't touch me. It almost turned to fist fights, but the point is, you play to win the game. There's no honor system in sports. Clearly the ball went off my thumb. Everybody knew it. The judge, the ref missed it. What's the point of having refs if you're going to make the calls yourself? Mr. Biggs Volleyball, we won it our first 3 years, lost senior year. Next up, you don't think that was a good story? That was a perfect story.
It's a good story, but it's so Portnoy. Like, you are like a 14-year-old. You're Uncle Rico at this point. Like, oh, let me tell you this time in high school, I hit this
I'm
volleyball.
equating it. I'm bringing it down and making it on a personal level. And it's the perfect analogy. Ask Brendan Nolan if he's watching this. He spiked it. I went up. I had perfect angle. He got off my thumb. They still probably talk about it.
I will admit, I would like to see like an entire high school screaming at Dave Portnoy. He's just like, nope.
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. I was back doing it. People were furious. They're like, you liar, you scumbag. It's like, I didn't fucking touch it. Didn't touch him. It went out on its own. And the ball did the angle of the ball.
You just got him back in this story, Kevin. How'd you do that?
The angle of the ball did like a right-hand turn, like up into the upper deck. It was amazing. But if you missed that call, that's not on me. That's a lesson I taught the shop teacher, Mr. Butler. Don't put it on me. It's you. You have a job. You have eyes. You're paid to do your job. Do your job. This Red Sox Girl Mascot, a couple things I just wanted. So we got this girl, Tessie, and I hate mascots. I know, Kevin, you and your Mets, you have a million of them. Great. Do your mascot thing. Do the Cubs have a mascot?
They had one. They brought one out last year. They invented one. He doesn't have pants. It was like the classic Cubs, and people were photoshopping dicks on it. So it was like classic, like Cubs fucked it up. So yeah, we do have a mascot now.
What is it?
It's Billy the no. What is his name? I don't even like. I cared for 2 seconds and then I didn't care anymore.
I hate mascots. I don't like Wally. We got now Tessie's little sister. So I tweeted, die Tessie, right away. And a lot of Boston, it's very anti-Boston. We're not a mascot town, all right?
Clark the Cub.
What is it?
He's so forgettable. Clark the Cub. He's so forgettable. No one cares about mascots. They care at the press release, and then they don't care anymore because they're not children.
If Clark the Cub actually had a big swinging dick, it would matter.
He did. Someone photoshopped it. It went on the news. It was like just Clark the Cub with his big fucking furry dick slanging in everyone's face.
So I tweeted about it. I got mad. I don't like mascots. I don't like our ownership group. They're so fucking hokey. And then I saw ESPN women like congratulate, oh, this is like the greatest thing. So, I don't care that it's a male mascot or a female mascot. I don't though. I don't. I thought it was funny that like ESPNW is happy that it's a woman. Like I was making fun of that. And then obviously Katie Nolan is like the queen of the feminists now. So I threw a little dig her way. Next thing you know, people are making me seem like I'm crazy, like you, Big Cat. I just put this on here to clarify. If you're not mad about that mascot and you're from Boston, then you're not from Boston. That's all I got on this. And Katie Nolan's that tweet, I was on the train back from New York saying to Paul, I'm like, this is a brilliant tweet. A lot of people won't get it, but it's very funny.
And I'll just clarify my point. I think a 38-year-old man being upset about a female mascot is really fucking lame.
Okay, well, I think you're lame.
How many times do you think?
Got me, burn.
How many times do you think Dave, in his entire life, has turned to Gaz and explained one of his jokes and been like, "That's just funny. That's funny. That's brilliant. What I just said, right, Gaz?" And Gaz, like, "Yeah, oh yeah, man, yeah, it's brilliant."
I just did because I was flying back from New York, so I landed, and I just see that you're like really hot and bothered about a mascot, and you are the type of people that we make fun of. You're the outraged people.
I hate our ownership group. I hate the mascots. And then Feidelberg's going to chime in. He's going to be Joe Cool, like, oh, I want to be mad about this mascot, but I just can't. That's worse.
But it's all right. So when the Clark the Cub was unveiled, people were actually pissed because the Cubs haven't won shit, and that's like stuffing it down your face.
No, but
one World Series.
Yeah, but the Cubs are hokey. Like the Cubs are hokey. When you guys lost and when you guys got swept out, you all had your arms around each other, singing and taking pictures. The Red Sox aren't like that. We're mean. We're savage people.
Actually, this is a great point because this happened over the holidays as well. What happened at your little Celtics game with all the fans chanting Kobe? That was a little interesting.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. Okay, so every fan base does.
People for Boston.
This has been
No,
my
that's
point.
Dan. That's not. That's no timeouts. Paying respects to a rival. I don't like Kobe because I don't support rape. But paying your support to a rival is way different than doing the Macarena and like everyone like cheersing when you're about to get swept. Very different. Very different. If you can't see that, I'm sad for everybody here. Jeb's Turtles. Couple political things. So Jeb gave his son.
No, it was a random kid.
Oh, that was a random kid?
It's like 13 years old.
He's handing out turtles on the campaign trail. Telling him slow and steady wins the race.
I mean, you love this.
Is that real though? Like you guys don't think that that's the most ridiculous thing ever? He's literally handing out turtles.
Where's he getting the turtles from?
He's got a pocket full of turtle dolls.
Oh, they're not real turtles.
They're like little glass, like stat turtles, and
winning over America child by child by giving them a little trinket.
We've seen a lot of bad shit from presidential candidates. We're going back to the Chris Christie thing. We've seen a lot of things this campaign where we've said, you can't be president if you're doing that. If you're throwing out turtles saying slow and steady wins the race, you're out. You're out.
Listen, I'm actually convinced now the conspiracy theorist in me thinks that, like, George W. was like, all right, the heat on this, I actually don't know because I don't follow this stuff enough, but like the heat on like the Iraq war and people are like digging up old classified information from 10 years ago. It's kind of getting a little hot. Let's throw like our dumb brother out there and like America will have sympathy for the Bushes. Like he's wearing, Jeb like forgets to change his sweater. He's passing out turtles. How can you hate that family now?
My dad told me dead serious after he said I was like insane about something. And then he said that the Bushes are going to murder Trump. He's like, they have tentacles in the Middle East, and if you don't think they're going to kill Trump, because nobody makes the Bushes look like a fool.
No, see, I think your dad and I should have a talk because I still think that the Clintons are so deceivious that they put Trump in there to like, and then they're going to pull the plug on him, and then Hillary's going to win. So I think you can't trust the Clintons, you can't trust Trump. The Bushes are throwing Jeb out there to make them look like soft so that people aren't mad at him anymore. It's like everyone's settling their scores in this election.
And two other real quick points.
Wait, hang on. That was political analysis from a man who has watched the MTV Challenge too much. There's alliances.
No, I'm just telling you.
That is what that was.
Yeah, you could say the Clintons are Johnny Bananas. Like, you don't trust Johnny. Like, you just respect them because you're like, they could fuck my life over, but you don't fucking trust them. That's for sure.
Bananas. We tried to get bananas on the.
I was going to call you out on that, but I wasn't sure.
We tried to get.
I got too far into Bush. I was just starting to make.
No, I actually think that analogy makes a lot of sense. We tried to get bananas like one time to do a challenge. Remember, like a bro show, and he like wanted like $100,000 or something for it.
Yeah, he just props people up. So he like the Clintons are bananas. They propped up Trump, who's probably like I don't know, like some like meat muscle guy, and then at the end they're just gonna pull the rug out, and Banana's gonna be standing on top of a mountain in like Antarctica.
Did you see
with a helicopter over him? Yeah.
Did you see Trump's tweet today to Samuel L. Jackson? He's mad at Samuel L. Jackson. I think Samuel L. Jackson said stuff about him, but
he said he cheated at golf.
What's that?
He said he cheated when they played golf together.
Okay. He said Trump said Samuel L. Jackson, very unathletic, terrible golf swing. I've won many club championships. Like a bet for charity. Very funny. Also, last political thing, Ricky Rubio or Cruz. I get those two guys confused. One of those guys. What?
You're a big NBA guy, as he did.
He's got the heels. He's walking around with these giant, basically, they're not women like high heel. That's how fucked up our politicians are, by the way. Feidelberg came up and he's like, Rubio/Cruz is wearing high heels. I literally thought.
I don't know who it is.
I literally thought they may be wearing women's shoes. That's how fucked up these people are. But he's wearing man heels. He must be 4 foot tall. If you're short, just own it, deal with it. I know I'm opening up Pandora's box. That's different. That's a picture moment. I'm not walking heels. I just took your momentum. Let's move on.
No, I didn't. No, I was actually going to say that's it. Forget the heels. Like, that's the kind of frou-frou, like, shoe you wear and say that you're, like, Italian now.
Well, no, it's called a Cuban heel. I did a little research. So he's playing to his Cuban roots. I'm sure all the Cubans are like, yeah.
Well, that actually is smart. Like, if you can basically be like, yeah, in Cuba we wear like high heels,
right? And then
you gotta play that card.
Last one, this Twitter war from yesterday, and I guess this can kind of be. First of all, I was not around when you said it. KFC, if we're being honest, first of all, you came out of the woodwork aggressive. It's a very rude thing to say because you don't know this. What are you laughing at?
You're telling someone else. You basically said that like you hate Kevin's daughter.
No, I didn't.
Bro.
I didn't even say anything to Kevin. I wasn't even talking about Kevin. Someone asked me, someone tweeted at me, you're going to have a daughter. And I replied, I will not, because real men birth men. And then KFC, I go to meetings to try to pay for your daughter. I'm doing work till 10 p.m. I look at my timeline, and you say something that we got to be honest. Kevin, I'm so happy you have a happy, healthy baby, and that's all I ever said before you did. What if we're struggling over here? What if I'm sterile? What if we're having? That's a you went down a very dangerous path that could have blown up in your face. Thank God I'm strong like an ox. But if that wasn't the case, you could have really said something that was. I never once said anything mean pre-birth. I was like, happy and healthy, happy and healthy. Once a thing was happy and healthy, great. You should have had a boy. You had a girl. You can't control that. I will control that. But I wasn't even talking to you.
You got murdered, Dave. Again.
I did not get murdered. There's no way to come back when you're gone. I wasn't on Twitter.
And,
clearly.
well, your comeback
did come back. That was
you can't come back when you're 2 hours after. It's impossible.
F- come back.
No, F- your face. You can't come back. You cannot come back when you're 2 hours off. You lose the momentum of like the whole give it. And first of all, it was a cheap shot from the clouds. It was like a Nancy.
What?
It was a Nancy Kerrigan. You Nancy Kerrigan me. You Jeff Galuli'd me.
You absolutely subtweeted me after like.
I don't subtweet you. Don't flatter yourself.
Are you crazy? You're sitting here talking about guys who have daughters, and you're going to say that had nothing to do with me? Get the fuck out of my face,
Kevin. How many millions of people?
How many? Crossing the line. You're a habitual line crosser. You're inappropriate. You're rude. And you know what I did? I just dropped the fucking hammer on you.
Are you telling me that you have that big of an ego? There's only two types of babies you can have: male, female. There's millions of humans. If I make a comment about having a boy or a girl, it's automatically about you. That's insane. You're really gonna say that?
Yeah. If you think that you're making comments about weak men having daughters, get the fuck
Someone
out
asked
of town,
me.
Dave.
Someone's like, you're gonna have a daughter. I'm like, I will not have a daughter. So I insulted half the population. You just took it really personally.
Dude, so fine. You insulted me, and I dropped the hammer on you. I'm not sorry at all. I don't care.
You didn't drop a hammer. You said something that was way over the line and could have been a very sensitive.
Dave.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's not a joke. I think your reaction here is trying to tell the truth.
Kevin, I hope it's not a joke for your sake, because it'll be really unfortunate if it is. And like, I can't have a baby, and it's like, oh, Kevin was making fun of it. And
I know more than anybody how sensitive that topic is. Would never in a million years say anything like that to anyone else on the planet Earth. Except for Dave Portnoy.
I never said it. I was never, when you were having a kid, I was never like, oh, I hope KFC can't conceive. What just a mean-spirited thing to say.
Nerf gun Portnoy.
I don't even, what does that mean?
You're shooting a Nerf gun, bro.
I hope I'm not.
Talk about live bullets.
I hope I'm not more for Kevin's sake now, because he's painted himself in a corner. He better hope.
Can I quickly transition this ego talk? The Cheez-It video. I thought there was maybe a controversy with Cheez-Its. You basically just said I like reduced fat Cheez-Its, and now I'm going to make you watch a 12-minute video of me mumbling to myself while I eat Cheez-Its.
I thought that there was some sort of internet challenge,
Yeah,
someone else
me too.
did it, and then he was like, I can do it better, or there was a new flavor that was getting a heat. No,
Yeah,
it's
there
just
was.
Hey,
Toasty.
Feidelberg, go get me a bunch of Cheez-Its. I'm going to wrap this towel around my head and talk for 12 minutes.
Dave, if I stumble across that video on the internet, I make fun of that guy forever. It's probably in It's Saturday, Let's Get Weird. I haven't done those in forever. That's exactly what that is. Look at this fucking lunatic with his sweatshirt around his head testing Cheez-Its and talking to himself to prove nothing. What did you even prove?
I also think, Dave, you didn't know. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't think you knew any flavors other than reduced fat. You were like, I don't know what that is. That's gross, though. You can't do a taste test challenge if you don't know what you're eating.
Let me say this. I'm going to say it once. I'm going to say it slowly, and hopefully I won't be interrupted. But, Dan, you stumbled upon something that really sums it up and why both of you should be thankful for the situation we're in. Because the fact, what is this? It's so crazy. He's nuts. If I saw this, it'd be our Saturday Get Weird video. My brain thinks so far outside the box with content, and it's built this empire based on my brain going places that mere mortal brains can't go.
That was the most esoteric video I've ever watched. You have to understand 7 layers of Barstool jokes to think that was funny. But yes, that will go far.
It wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to find out. It stems on the fact whenever I've said I like reduced fat Cheez-Its, people look at me like I have 10 heads.
Have you ever said that? That's the other part I don't get. You that's a well-known thing, like Davey Page use.
More importantly, even if it is, you don't need a 12-minute video to explain this.
There were a lot more flavors than I anticipated.
I had no idea that it was there goes Davey Page use. He's the reduced fat Cheez-It guy.
Well, yeah, I've heard that quite a bit.
I will say this, though. I brought it up. I started playing the video, and Caitlin's like, what are you watching? And I was like, Dave's doing a taste test with reduced fat. She said, reduced fat or thinner. So she said it's fugazi. It's not even taste, because she knows
That's exactly all right. So you just reinforce exactly what the whole point of my video was.
Well, yeah, I mean, that took about 30 seconds, and then it was...
But, all right, so I was going to... All right, so it started because I've always been reduced fat. I was buying Cheez-Its, and I saw Toasty, which is basically why I buy reduced fat. And then I saw all these other flavors. That's where maybe I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have involved all the crazy flavors. Maybe it should have been reduced fat, normal, and Toasty. I can live with that. Listen. I just go out, and sometimes it comes out the way you want, sometimes too long. I knew it was too long. I said during the video, cut it up, and they didn't cut it up because I knew it was long.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
I'm day one of the diet, just so you guys know.
I could tell. I could tell because your haircut, and you're trying to
No, I took a shower.
And you're using small, that mug is small. You're trying to make think you're little.
No,
you're using miniature stuff. Yeah.
That would be reversed.
Yeah, it would make you look bigger, you idiot.
No, and then you feel worse, so you try to get smaller.
I need
Use your brain one time
to make myself look like a little kid.
All right. That's the Hank. Real quick, I wasn't here yesterday. Did you screw up your quote, or was it supposed to be commas like Feidelberg said, or was it comas?
It was. I mean, I didn't write it. Someone else just submitted my slip, but it was comas. Commas.
Commas or comas?
What do you mean you didn't write it?
You're supposed to send in your baby picture and write your thing, and one of my friends was like, took my paper, wrote it, and submitted it, and I never thought about it until it came out.
That just makes it more Hank.
All right.
That just makes it more Hank.
That's the rundown. I'm sorry my Cheez-It video didn't entertain you.
Hey, listen. It was something else, man. It was a scene, man.
We talked about it, Dave. Don't feel too bad about yourself. We were at least talking about it.
Yeah.
It's not a complete failure, put it that way.
No, and more importantly, I hit on something that your wife, Caitlin, knew about right away. For people who eat the reduced fat and are aware of it, it is kind of a raging controversy.
It's like Hall of Fame, NHL All-Star lineup.
Reduced fat
Cheez-It. That's what's hot in the streets these days.
All right. Great rundown.